And we are live for episode 27 of the Alt Natives After Hours podcast, brought to you by Axelrad Screen Printing and Wilkes-Barre and the VSpot Bar in Scranton. My name is Popko. I'm the host of this show, and I'm also the host of a radio show on Saturday nights called Alt Natives on Alt 921, where I feature an hour's worth of music from artists in and around NEPA. And this podcast is essentially an extension of that, where I get to talk to people in NEPA and around the area, not necessarily bands and artists, but artists for sure. And one of those artists today is Brittany Boote. Brittany is the owner of Boote Photography Studio in 40 Fort, and this is the first time I've seen Brittany outside of social media, and I can't tell you how long. So Brittany,
Way
welcome.
too long.
Thanks for joining me today.
Thank you so much for having me. I was looking forward to it. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, I appreciate your time, and like I said, this is just a great opportunity to kind of sit down with people that I know in the scene and just have a long form conversation with them. I do want to give a shout out quick to the sponsors again, Axelrad. They did an awesome thing. It was with a thing called a program called the Shirts Off Our Back movement.
Mm-hmm, I saw.
I'm sporting Joe Nardone's Gallery of Sound shirt. So just props to them for coming up with that. So what a great program. I think last time it's over now, I'm pretty sure, but last I checked, they raised over $60,000, which will be going right back to the businesses. Well, proceeds will go back to the businesses that people bought the shirts from. So
that's awesome.
Really cool what they did there. And of course, the VSpot in Scranton, who is now open for takeout. They've been doing that for about 3 weeks now. And Vinny's just pumped to be back and kind of in the bar and, seeing people that he knows and loves. And, he's still serving drinks, not in the bar. It's for takeout, but it's a good option. It's better than nothing. But hopefully we'll be back to normal before we know it. But I guess that's a good lead into your life. And how are you doing? How's your family? How's everything in your world going since, COVID-19 kind of took over our lives?
Well, everyone's hanging in there. Everyone has had such a hard time trying to navigate how to kind of adapt, especially as business owners. And it's been really cool to watch people like Dave from Axelrad and all the small businesses around here, like find ways to kind of make their mark and help people. But you just have to find some creative ways to still operate your business and also be a part of the community in a positive way. It was a really scary time too, because you just don't know what to expect. You don't know how long you're going to be out of business. And you also don't want to jeopardize people's safety for the sake of your business, no matter how passionate you are about what you're doing or, your career. It's a really hard thing to navigate. And I think a lot of people have done a really good job of doing that. It's been crazy. It's been crazy for me. I started off feeling really stressed out and overwhelmed, and I lost, a lot of my weddings postponed, but I never expected something like this to happen. And I'm kind of now starting to feel more grateful for the time that I've been able to kind of reevaluate my own personal life and health and things like that and focus on that. So it's kind of been like a productive break, I guess I could say.
Yeah. So take us back to when you started this whole business, Boote Photography. I believe it was back in 2017.
Yep. So I opened the studio in March of 2000. It was actually 2016. So I'm in my fourth year now of full time. Yeah. It went by really quickly. And before that I was bartending and just kind of doing little promoting things here and there. And I just fell in love with taking photos. And I was like, I'm going to make this work. Like, it has to work. I'm just going to do it. And I tell people this, especially a lot of other photographers that have seen my business grow over the years. They ask me how it happened so quickly. And my answer for them is always that I would not have been able to grow like I grew without the support of the people in my community that were so quick to be yes, I will hire you. Yes, this is awesome. Yes, you can do this. You're very talented. And giving me that encouragement and being able to believe that was huge for me. So it's been almost 3.5. Well, yeah, 4 years. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Can't count anymore.
I was gonna, well,
I
we
don't
know what day
know.
it is. We don't know how to get dressed anymore.
Yeah, I'm just
It's
like
a real
so
weird
shot.
situation. But I was gonna say, you definitely. It seemed like you just like you took over. You hit the ground running, and you just kind of, you didn't stop. And
I wanted it.
yeah, absolutely. And that's how you got to where you got to so fast. So, I mean, did you start out primarily as like a wedding photographer, or what would you say? How did you start out?
I started off doing a little bit of everything, and I did that because I thought that that's what photography studios did. We see our examples of, photography studios, and they're doing this way, and, doing sessions with these like certain props, and that's like the style, and that's like what's in, and that's what I thought that I had to do. And then I realized that I didn't have to do that, and I could just kind of do my own thing with my own kind of artful language that was how I wanted to express like my service. And when I figured that out, it was like a totally different ball game. But I think at first you just have to kind of like see what it is that you love and see what it is that you really are good at, and that gives you that like excitement, and then go with that. So I had to kind of do a little bit of everything to figure that out.
Right. And I mean, I feel like you entered the scene when, I mean, there's a lot of photographers out there.
Oh, there is. Yeah, there still
Um,
is. And there's more
yeah,
coming.
right. So, I
Yeah.
mean, do you find that space to be, I don't want to say a challenge. I guess every business is a challenge, but I mean, the other photographers that you run into, are they also very supportive of, you and other people in the area, or would you see that as like a
So
cutthroat kind of business?
I wouldn't say it's cutthroat. I think competition is really healthy. And I think our photography community, for the most part, has a really supportive nature. Um, and I think that there is room for everybody. I think that no matter what kind of photography you want to do, if you're doing things that are like true to you, and you're creating art for people that is your own, and that's like what you put into your brand, then like you really don't have to worry about competition. I think like if you're worried about what other people are doing, or like the competition, or people kind of taking your clients or your business, then your brand is not right. That's how I feel. Like there's clients for every single photographer. So as far as like that, like it is a super saturated market, I guess people say. But if you're doing things and you really want to stand out, and you really want to like create a brand that people relate to and connect with and want to experience, then you don't really have to worry about any of that stuff. I don't think. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I think that's been a part of your ultimate success, is that's how you come off. I mean, people are drawn to you because you're a happy person. You kind of wear your heart on your sleeve. There's no hidden, there's nothing hidden about you. You're genuine. There's no secret that Brittany uh, photographs a lot of our family stuff. I'm proud to share that on social media when you do, and I know my wife is a little bummed out that the Mother's Day thing is kind
I
of got
know. I was so
postponed.
sad.
But yeah, we'll figure it out. But yeah, I mean, and I always say to anybody, looking for a photographer, or even like when I get the pictures back from you, it's always such a great experience, and you're just genuine. And I think that, I mean, obviously people want to work with people like that. It's easy to work with people like that. Um, so I think that's part of your success for sure.
It makes me happy to hear. I look forward to shooting you guys every time.
Yeah, I mean, and Lincoln, I mean, you're great with kids too. I mean,
I
Lincoln.
can't even handle that kid, because he's just like when I see you guys like walking up, I'm just like immediately like, ah, like I look like a crazy lady probably, because he's just the cutest thing ever.
Maybe that's why he likes you so much.
Yeah, I just get like really excited about Lincoln.
Yeah, he's a lot better now too. Like, I mean, he's getting older, so he's a lot
Is
more
he like
fun. And
talking and
oh
kind of,
yeah, it's
yeah.
It's nonstop. I mean, I don't know if you
That's
saw
awesome.
last week or not, but we had a little incident with the couch.
I didn't see.
I'm working from home. So I work from home. My wife works from home every other day. So she was at her office. I was home with him. I was on a work call. We have a work call every morning. So this is like early, 8:30, 9 o'clock. He's sitting next to me. He's doodling in my notebook that I use to take notes, and most of it's filled with just scribbles from him, which is kind of neat. And I save those notebooks in general just for work purposes, but this is going to be a little bit more fun to have. Just to have that memory of being home with him for almost 3 months now.
Yeah.
But so he was sitting next to me. He had a pen in his hand. He was scribbling. No big deal. And he's right next to me. And then he disappeared. And I got into my work call, and I didn't even notice he was, gone with the pen. Of course, the work call went longer than usual. But I got off. He was in the living room, so I went over to make sure he was good and not causing any problems. And I walk in, and there's literally he wrote in pen on the arm of the chair, on the back of the couch, and on the back of one of the
Oh
cushions.
my God.
And yeah, I
You were
mean,
zoned in.
there's worse things that could happen, right? So I mean,
Yeah.
it's pen, no big deal. I mean, I'm sure my voice got louder than it is normally, but I didn't get mad. I think I
Yeah.
was more scared for him
He's
and
an
I
artist.
to have. Yeah, that's what he is. But I think I was scared more for like, oh man, what is mom gonna do to us? But thankfully for the internet, I was able to jump on the Google machine and
Get
found
it
a
out.
video. And the dad that I saw was very calm, and I think that's what kept me calm. He's just like, all right, so I have this 2-year-old that decided to be a Picasso, and no big deal. He said, grab a cup of coffee and some rubbing alcohol, and you'll be fine. So I was like, all right, cool. Unfortunately, I did not have alcohol in the house. So I had to text my wife and tell her, hey, this happened. Yeah, it's on our
Did
Facebook
it come
page.
out?
Oh yeah, it came out. It came out. So that was good. So like I said, worse things could have happened, but it was definitely a moment of, oh shit.
I'm a little artist.
Yeah, but he's been a lot of fun. I'm
So
there's nothing good.
was he 2 in December?
Yeah, he just turned 2 in December. So he's
Crazy.
almost 2.5. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, nothing about the situation we're in with the world is good, but I mean, the silver lining, I guess you could say, is that I've been able to spend a lot of quality time with him over the past 3 months.
Yeah.
So for that,
I
I'm
think
thankful. But
that is something that initially felt like so just derailing to our lives. But in retrospect, and every day that I'm still experiencing that now, you just kind of feel like what a nice change up, like what a nice slowdown. Like I'm someone who always kind of sees the positive no matter what, and I think that's kind of my outlook now is, it's gonna be okay. Like money wise, whatever, you make more of it. It's not, as it's not as horrible as it could be for like other people. Like people are going through so much, and if the worst thing that's happening to me right now is that I have to like stay home with my dog and not I'm sad about not shooting weddings because it's something that brings me so much happiness and like motivation, but I'm just trying to see like the silver lining and take those like small moments each day, for what they are, and just kind of like little grateful moments that I'm just trying to really notice now. A lot of times we don't stop to pay attention to those things. Or
right.
it's just we're so in the groove of what we're doing that we don't have that presence. And I think that this situation, for me at least, was really revealing of that.
Right. And I don't want to dwell on the initial part of this situation, but I mean, I think it's important to address. I mean, how did you feel when this first happened? And I'm sure, bride after bride is calling you or maybe you have to call them. I mean, I don't know how that works, but saying they have to postpone because, in this case, maybe the venue said they can't do it or whatever it might be. I mean, I'm assuming, I'm in advertising. So like I dealt with that firsthand too, like people calling and canceling. So, I mean, what was that like? I mean, I know what it was like for
So
me, but I mean, in your life and your world.
when this all started, I was out of the country, and it was the day that it was like March 12th or 13th or something, or yeah, like March 12th. And it was the day they had banned travel from Europe. And I was like supposed to go to Costa Rica. I was in Guadalajara, and I was like, okay, I'm going to get stuck in South America. And what if I get sick here? Or, you know what I mean? So initially I was just like, oh my God, I have to get home. Like, I just need to get home, and then I'll deal with everything. And so I got home, and I don't think I realized how severe the situation was escalating, because every day it was like crazier and crazier. So the first thing I did was I had, I think, 6 weddings in May, 7 weddings in June. And I sent all my brides a letter. Like, hey, just want to check in with you. This is crazy. If you need me, I'm here. I'm hoping that everything is totally settled down by your wedding day. If it's not, let me know what the plan is, and whatever you need from me, we'll make it work. So I kind of like started the conversation with everybody initially, just to kind of get ahead of it, because I knew that, I mean, this was the busiest schedule that I've ever had so far in business is this year. And I was really anxious about my schedule this year, because I knew it was going to be really overwhelming. And if I could do this, then I felt like I could do anything. Like, my last wedding this year is December 19th, and we were supposed to get married December 31st. And I had 50 weddings in between May 1st and December 19th. You know, there's only 52 weeks in a year. So it was crazy. So I was like, I just need to get ahead of this. And like, I'm always like, go, 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 get the ball rolling. Like, we're going to like take care of everything. It's going to be totally fine. And then I did not anticipate how far out people were going to be canceling their weddings. And I did not anticipate my brides this year. So for me, this is affecting me for years, because my brides this year now are postponing to my Saturdays in 2021, which that's my income for next year. You know what I mean? And then I still have a wedding kind of like hanging in my own as a bride, like, cause I'm a bride too, you know? So it's just like, I'm kind of experiencing it from all angles, and I'm trying to be as adaptive as I can, because that's really the only answer that I have.
Yeah, I want to get to you being engaged and being on the other side of the camera, so to speak. But obviously, there's many people who have used these 2 to 3 months to, and you mentioned to adapt and be adaptive. Is there anything that you've done in the last 3 months that that has been an addition to your business, or that you are setting up to be part of your business next year moving forward, or have you just used the time to enjoy the time at home, or what have you been up to?
So initially I was like, oh, I could like have all this free time, and I could do all these things for my business, and I'll blog, and I'll work on my SEO, and I'll work on my Instagram, and like build my Instagram. So I was doing a lot of that stuff initially. And then I kind of like lost a little business momentum, and I started really focusing on like my health, because I just did not have the time to do that the past 3 years with everything going on. And I just was like, okay, this is my time to like get back to like myself and like feel like myself again, and like have this time to just do the things that I used to enjoy doing all the time, that were like self-care essentially. And
Right.
so I've just been like doing stuff like that now, and I kind of just am letting my business mold as the time molds and as the year develops, and I'm letting it breathe, and I'm just not stressing out about it anymore. I've just accepted that this year is going to be different. And it's okay. Like, I'm just going to work on what I can work on, and try to, I focused on my business so much over the past 3 years, and I was so married to it and so addicted to like being productive and putting like everything I had into my business. And I neglected my physical health and like even my mental health. Like I was just always like on to the next, who, you know what I mean? Like what's next? Where am I going next? Like travel, you know what I mean? It was just like, and now I did all of that, and I worked on my experiences as a person, but now I'm able to work on my experiences for myself, kind of in a way.
Right.
So it's just I'm just focusing on me for a moment because I don't know if I'll have that opportunity again once things get going.
Yeah. I think I saw you post, maybe it was towards the end of last year, but you kind of wanted to, I don't want to say step back, but you wanted to kind of focus on yourself and, preparing for your own wedding. And how's Joe doing, by the way?
He's good.
Good. I love
Yeah,
Joe.
he's hanging.
Good, good, good. But tell us a little bit about what it's like to be on the other side. I mean, how has your experience been with, looking for a photographer and a venue? And I mean, has that been as much fun for you as it is, being part of it on the the person taking the photos?
I think, I mean, I definitely have like a different perspective, just because I've seen so much and seen so many weddings. And, but a lot of people ask me, oh, like about my photographer, like, are you going to be taking selfies the whole day or setting your camera on a tripod and like asking your photographer to do this and this? Like, how are you allowing somebody to like shoot your wedding? Like, how are you like, but for me, like, I like that experience of like hiring an artist to do their job. You know what I mean? Like, I want to experience that bride experience just like a regular bride,
Mhm.
I don't want to micromanage my wedding. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't even have any of my photographers that shoot for me or work, you know what I mean? Like hire them to shoot. A lot of photographers do that. And I was like, you know what? I want to have a regular bride experience. That was important to me.
Yeah, I think had you hired your own staff or someone you work with, that might have been a different experience. You may have begun to micromanage them just because
Yeah. I didn't want to,
it's a good
I just
idea.
wanted, yeah, I just wanted to be a bride.
You want to be a normal person, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, did you have we were talking earlier, and spoiler alert, you mentioned your wedding was supposed to be New Year's Eve, but you're postponing. Big bummer.
Total
Yeah.
bummer.
Where was it supposed
We,
to be?
we're doing New Year's Eve now, just in 2021.
Okay.
So it took me a while to like accept that that was the right thing to do. Like, I just didn't want to email our vendors. And I was just like, I don't want to do this. I just want to have our wedding and, you know, start our lives, and do our, like, all the cool stuff. So we were pretty bummed, but we have time to kind of, it's not like it was a week from now, it wasn't like our wedding was this spring and we had to like scramble and like, you know what I mean? So we had time. So it wasn't like quite as stressful, I think, as most brides that were getting married this spring was. But I guess I just feel like now I have more time to kind of, I think it's a blessing in disguise,
Sure.
basically, because this year was going to be a wild one for me. And now I feel like I get to enjoy being engaged and like being a bride a little bit longer, I'm trying to kind of see it like that.
I mean, I think that's how you have to look at it. I mean, it's not going to change. So, I mean, we could fight it as much as we want to, but, here we are.
There's just too many unknowns. Like if it comes back in the fall, I mean, now at this point, it just seems kind of like the coronavirus has been kind of pushed to the side. So we don't know what's even happening or
Yeah.
if it's going to I mean, people are saying it's going to resurge again in the fall and stuff, but it's like our world kind of shifts very quickly in what we should be concerned about, so it's hard to know exactly what's going to happen when we really don't even know. Like tomorrow, you know what I mean, could be like something that we have no idea that, is like an underlying issue that we're going to have to kind of deal with. So it's just, everything has been so unpredictable. Really, this whole year has been extremely unpredictable on so many levels and issues. So it's just so hard I just kind of don't want to get married during this time. I mean,
Sure.
really.
And I think I saw something. Yeah, there's a stadium-sized asteroid heading to Earth this week.
Cute.
Yeah, I love that.
Cute.
Cute. They don't expect there to be a collision with Earth, but
Oh dear.
it's like, what's next? I mean, there's COVID, there were the murder hornets. Now,
Yeah. I mean,
the world now, and I don't want to get too much into it, but it's a lot to kind of
wild
unpack.
times.
Yeah, the world is, I think, more divisive than ever. And
Yeah.
it's crazy, and it's unfortunate, and it's sad, and
It's
it,
hard not to feel that emotion, that sadness
yeah,
when you
and
think about it.
yeah, I mean, I can't even begin to really understand it as a white person, especially.
Yeah.
You know,
That's how I feel.
you know, I was taught at a very young age that there is no difference between me and anyone else.
Same.
I think I've talked about this when we were doing the podcast with Rich for NEPAC,
Hmm.
which was a lot of fun, by the way. I think you stepped aside earlier than I did just to focus on your business, which obviously was
Things
a
got
good move
cray.
and an important move for you. But yeah, I mean, I'm thankful that my parents, really kind of taught us that. And I think that's what it comes down to is education and
Hmm.
being taught, because I mean, it's just a sad situation. I feel terrible for the
Yeah.
family of George Floyd. And
My my sister-in-law was asking, I was talking to her today, and she was asking if I had watched the video, and I just can't. Like, I honestly just can't even, I can't I can't watch it, like I know that I need to, or that we need to as a culture kind of open our eyes to this, but I just struggle with that kind of violence, and I just don't know how to be a person that can express my thoughts when I feel like I don't have a position to have those, you know what I mean? Like, thoughts. It's just a very, like, it's a hard thing to navigate,
yeah, it is.
and especially with like social media and having a business and, posting about Black Lives Matter and sharing what you think. Want to, you don't want to drown out the voices that need to be heard. And as like a white woman, it's not my battle to, to have that platform to use for, you know what I mean, for my
Right.
thoughts. So it's just like such a hard thing to navigate through online. And I don't know, it's just,
I watched it, and I mean, the first thing I thought of, or I thought to myself, is this can't be real. There's no way this can be real. This is fake. There's just no possible way this could be real. Like, how is this happening? I just don't understand it. And I mean, it just breaks my heart that it's real, and it's been
yeah,
real for so long. And um, like I said, I don't want to get too far into it, because I mean, even as a white man, we've had a better life than a white woman. And it's Black culture. It's just like, it's just too much.
it's hard to find a way to be supportive without kind of whitewashing it in a way, and I think that that's the term that I keep seeing when I keep trying to educate myself on everything and how to help or how to be supportive. It's hard as a person that cannot empathize or fully understand what they're going through, how to do what we can,
Yeah.
and it's what I'm seeing too is just I feel like we're amplifying voices on both sides that are just not what we need to be paying attention to, like the united is what we need to pay attention to, and the people that are doing positive things,
Right.
and not like the scary violent things and the extremist on every angle, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I just hope things, get better.
I think things will change. I think that
They have to.
I feel like they will.
They have to. But now I mentioned us doing the NEPA Scene podcast, and that's kind of where I really first met you. And I think our first conversation on that I was maybe the first or second episode was I knew of you. You were part of the scene, whether it was going to shows or the photography and things like that. But yeah, I think back about you a lot and how I knew you, and then who you were before I met you, and then who you are as someone that I know and care about a lot. And it's just a cool
Evolution.
yeah, it really is. I'm so happy for your business, and I'm happy you found Joe. He's a great guy.
What a gem.
How did you guys meet?
So he's laughing in the background.
Joe, I love you.
Love you too, Johnny.
He's eavesdropping.
Okay.
So we met at a Christmas party, and like, you know how I'm not like a super forward girl, or like super, I guess maybe I'm a little flirty. I don't know. But I met him at a Christmas party, and I don't know what came over me or why I said this, but I was like, I shook his hand, and I don't know, I had to go, well, you look like a good time.
Wait, what? First, why were you shaking his hand?
I was introduced to him.
Oh, okay. I thought, you were just.
And instead of saying like, nice to meet you, like, so lovely to meet you, I just said, well, you look like a good time.
Oh, he was probably sold.
And then I was like, that came out like really kind of slutty.
Yeah.
And then 8 months later, he like slid into my DMs and tried to sell me concert tickets.
Okay.
And I was like, yeah, I'll
angle?
buy them.
That was the
And when I told him I'd buy the concert tickets, he was like, oh, I could actually go now. So I only have one ticket. And the concert was in Philly. So I was like, oh.
Was this like a
okay.
setup though, Joe?
Yeah, I was like, I guess I'll just go with you then. And then he was doing all kinds of like.
That's smooth. That's a good move.
Stuff. And I was like, he's all right.
That's a good move. I like that. If I wasn't married and I was single, I might try that.
Yeah, it was like the bait and switch.
Yeah, I love it. What show was it?
We went to go see Modest Mouse and Brand New.
Okay.
Yeah, at the Mann Center.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
And it's just been.
Yeah, that was July 16th of 2016. So we'll be together 4 years this fall, really. We met in the summer, but I had to have him chase me around for a couple months before we made it official.
Absolutely. That's just how
Naturally.
it works. Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to play hard to get. How's Joe been during this whole quarantine? Is he?
He's working, so he's just doing his thing like business as usual. He was pretty strict about, not being around a lot of people and like not being in crowds, and just because if we get sick, like if I got sick and then I had to go to a wedding, like I couldn't shoot, you know what I mean? So it's just like we were just super, super careful.
Right.
But it seems like things are starting to kind of be more relaxed now. So.
Yeah, we were the same way. Outside of going to work for my wife, it was just me, my wife, and Lincoln, and we didn't see my mother up until last weekend when we went to Yellow Phase. We didn't see her since March 13th, and then we still haven't seen her mother and father yet. I think they plan on coming over this weekend, but that may have been end of February we saw them last. So it's been interesting.
Isolating.
Yeah. I'm concerned for people's mental health during all of this too. I mean, there was a moment for me during this whole thing. It may have been week 7 or 8 where I was just like, the trying to work from home, also making sure my son didn't jump off the couch and break his neck off a table.
Pain on those feelings.
Like meeting the expectations at work, and then again, he's my top priority. So just trying to manage that for me. And I don't want to sound like an asshole for saying this, because I'm thankful to have a job. I'm thankful to be able to work from home. I'm thankful for the time that I got to spend with my son. But it was definitely like I said, week 7 or 8, like I just wasn't in a good mental place.
I had a breaking point around that time too.
Yeah. So, I mean, I can't imagine what it's like. Again, people who have lost jobs, who have families that, they can't provide for because of
businesses are no longer.
Yeah. And I mean, obviously there's been some government aid, and hopefully people, were able to get the help that they needed and deserved. Were you able to get any assistance?
So I'm like still applying for unemployment.
Yeah.
And now that they're doing it in the mail, I did get my stimulus check. Mine came in the mail. It didn't go in direct deposit. So I didn't even know if I was going to get that. And then I applied for a bunch of loans. I applied for the PPP loan, but I did not get that. And then I think I got a grant. There was like a art, I don't know if it was a small business grant. That was supposed to be 10,000, and then they gave out 1,000. So I've had a little help here and there. But I mean, other than that, it's just kind of been like no money coming in at all. It's like funny to see my sales revenue stream, because I look at it every day, like just naturally when I like log into my dashboard, and I'm just like, wow, down negative 83% this month. Like, that's great.
Yeah, it's like one of those, the 401ks, you just don't even look at it.
Yeah,
it's just disaster.
Yeah. It's just,
yeah, I mean, I know how you feel. I mean, I shouldn't say the same thing because it's not the same for me. But I can't imagine. And it's your business. Like, this is like yours. Like, I'm fortunate where, I mean, I'm just an employee. I don't have to make the hard decisions of, what to do next. I mean, that's what you do.
Did they cut your hours or anything like that? Or
I'm getting paid less, a percentage less than normal. But I mean, all things considered, I have to say my company did the right things by their employees during all of this. People did take, cuts here and there, but no one was laid off. No one got sick in the building because they allowed people who could work from home to work from home.
yeah.
They didn't have a plan set up for that. So, I mean, we're technically essential employees because we're part of the media and part of, communications. So we are essential. So they easily could have said, come to work, but
Yeah.
they didn't do that.
They're
So
cool about it.
Yeah, I'm very happy and proud to say that I work for Time Shamrock in that aspect. So I know a lot of people weren't that fortunate. People are working in warehouses and they're forced to go to work and there's no other choice. And people are also let go and laid off and all this other kind of stuff. And again, another situation.
I know just totally overwhelmed.
Yeah, another situation that I don't know anything about. So it's hard for me to even, like, again, I'm thankful, and I don't even want to sound like I'm, over here saying woe is me, because I'm in a much better spot than a lot of people are, and I'm very thankful for that. But it's crazy. It's just.
And they moved tax day to July.
Yeah, I did mine early. Mine were done before all this even happened, which was good for me, I guess.
Yeah, that's how Joe was too. I was like getting mine ready, and I had a meeting with my accountant on April 1st, and then we rescheduled, and she's like, don't worry about it because we have an extension now. So July 15th. But now I'm kind of like, so for me, I'm going off of, I didn't have any weddings in January, February, March. You know what I mean? Like, that's my quiet time. So I was already coming off of like low months, I mean, last year was awesome, but then the beginning of this year is like, so I've been kind of going on like the bare minimum for 6 months now. So it's been like a little crazy.
Yeah.
But again, like just kind of I'm trying to reevaluate my habits and my lifestyle and my spending, and trying to understand what a budget is when it comes to shopping on Amazon and online. And that's been a challenge, just because you're just home and you're just bored, and you just want to like buy cool jeans. Like
Yeah.
that's like what makes you happy for the day, because like you can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
So it's just like, oh, it's been an adjustment.
Yeah.
I know
And
you're joking about Amanda with all the packages.
I'm not even joking. That's all serious. I mean,
Yeah.
you guys can like join some kind of club where you guys get your shit together. I don't know.
Yeah.
Joe, we'll lead the
Joe
charge.
just literally picked up a package that I haven't even opened yet. He's like, "What's this?" I'm like, "I don't know." It's like every day. It's like, I don't know what that is. It could be anything.
Yeah, that day that I was making fun of her for, though, it was hilarious because that was the first day that like literally all three of them were here at the house.
Yeah.
Amazon, FedEx, and UPS. Yeah, people were like, "Well, what about the postal service?" I'm like, "They're here every day. Like that's just you can't avoid that. It doesn't count."
Yeah.
But I mean, what do they say, Joe? They say, "Happy wife, happy life." So here we are.
Yeah.
Get it tattooed on your arm if you have to.
You hear that, Joe?
So, I've also seen some photos of you. So, I mean, are you practicing for your wedding or for your engagement shoot or what? What's going on there?
Those portraits?
Yeah.
Yeah. So my girlfriend, who's also a photographer, we just got together the other night and took pictures of each other. I haven't been in front, like I haven't had portraits of myself in like, I don't even know how long, but I used to be on camera all the time. And then I just like was behind the camera all the time. So it was kind of fun. And I kind of just needed that. Like I needed to just feel a little sassy and get some pics,
Yeah. Yeah. They look good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was exciting for me. I haven't done that in a long time.
And I also saw that I meant to write this down too, so forgive me. But you just made a donation, I believe, to. Yeah, I know you. Help me out here.
So we have the scholarship in my mom's name, the Aaron Boote Scholarship for the Arts, which is the fundraiser that I have every year around Christmas time. This year we gave it to 2 students instead of 1. We usually do 1 student. So we gave it to 2 girls that are Meyer students, Lydia McFarlane and Sarah Morris. So they each got a scholarship. So I kind of just went to their house and dropped it off. It was really informal and cool, kind of. It was like, here you go, congratulations.
How did that feel?
So it feels like this is what it's all about, like raising money and giving it to people who are going to use it to better themselves and who are passionate about art. That, like, when I was in high school, I didn't have that kind of like anybody being like, yeah, like you like art, like you should totally do that, like this is like your calling, you know what I mean? Like we just don't have that right now. So it's just cool to be able to give kids a little bit of encouragement that they should go study art and, invest in their education in that way. So it was cool. That's one of my things that I look forward to every year.
Yeah, you've been doing that for what 5 years now?
So the scholarship, so I did Shots for Tots, which is like pretty much, it's like the same entity. So I did Shots for Tots since I was like 21, and I just collected toys during Christmas time and donated them. And then when my mom passed away, we switched it to the scholarship. The people will still bring toys and stuff, but the cool part about that is I would donate toys and nobody would need them because people do so many toy drives and there's so many toy drives. So I was like, there's got to be something else that I can do that, like, this. I mean, it's a nice thought, but it's just not necessary. That's kind of how I felt. Like, I'd rather just now transition this into something where we can help young artists and honor my mom in that way, because it just kind of made more sense. So the scholarship we've been doing since 2015. So yeah, 5 years.
Cool. That's great that you do that. Yeah, I know you're very passionate about the arts, and I'm sure your mom would really, really find that very wonderful.
Yeah, I think she's hyped.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Now, do you plan on like raising money for that again this year? And I mean, obviously that's going to look different.
Yeah, probably do. Now that I was like this year, since we were getting married and I had all those weddings, I think I wasn't planning on doing Shots for Tots, but now that my years kind of transitioned a little bit, I'll probably do it. We raise like enough money every year that if we skipped a year, we would still be able to give the scholarship.
Good.
You know? So, I mean, obviously I want to raise enough money to give even more money away. But at this point, like, if we didn't do it for 1 year, like, I would still be able to give that scholarship away next year. So I wasn't sure if I was going to do it this year, but now that my years kind of like flipped a little bit, I think I'll probably do it.
Cool. Well, good luck with that. If you need help from me, please, by all means, reach out.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, I don't want to keep going on too long. I mean, I would love to talk to you more, but people's attention spans are
Not
not very
high.
long these days. And I'm sure people don't enjoy listening to me so much. So I do want to wrap things up, but where can people find you, Brittany Boote, online so that they can learn more about your photography business, learn more about who you are and all that kind of fun stuff?
So my Instagram is just my name, Brittany Boote, and my website is my name too, brittanyboot.com, and my Facebook is Brittany Boote Photography. And I'm all over the internet, so I'm active on all of those things.
Very cool.
So you won't have trouble finding me.
And you have a studio as well. Is that on lockdown still, or is that?
Yeah, I haven't really been there much, but I still have it, which is in 44 at the 900 building.
Very cool. Yeah, that building is great too. That's really blown up. I'm hoping everyone there makes it through too.
Yeah,
but,
me too.
So, well, it was great catching up with you. I hope to see you sooner than later.
Same. This was really great.
This was fun. I hope anyone watching got to learn a little bit about you. I can't speak more highly of you. You're a wonderful person, a very talented photographer, a great business owner, and I know my wife and I are looking forward to seeing you again with our son, hopefully soon. And yeah, if anyone's watching this, please by all means look up Brittany. She's a wonderful person, and you will not be disappointed. So,
thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me.
It was great seeing you. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you soon.
Bye.
Yeah.